to all the people out there that are parenting or possibly ministering to middle schoolers, like what would you say to them? Because I think there's not a lot of reward. There's not a lot of feedback that's positive in those years.
Well, it's really hard, and I run outdoor camps all over Texas for kiddos, and so I get to be around middle schoolers on this end of my life. Honestly, one of the most redeeming things I've seen in their lives has been outside influence, because middle school, I think, is the time in your life where you are most rebellious to whatever your parents say. There is no friendship in general, especially with boys. It is, you're going through a lot of change, and you want more freedom and you want more independence, and you're at a point in your life where you can't get those things. And so, uh, to the parents out there, bringing in somebody else that they respect and look up to kind of be an intermediary between you and them, that was important for me, just as a punk, whether it was coaches, uh, or some of y'all's younger friends that I really respected. So I have seen that through my camps a lot, that our counselors have a really interesting opportunity to be that intermediary, that the kids look up to, respect. And they could say the exact same thing that y'all would say to me in middle school, and it's going to be received totally different. So that's something I've seen that's had some great success in middle school as well.
Well, and I would just say to the parents, I remember when our relationship massively changed for the better. And it was still in the midst of middle school, but I basically looked at you and said, I think I understand what you're trying to do, which was to be your own person. And I quit fighting you, and I just quit requiring as much from you. And I think that really, and again, that sounds bad. It sounds like I wasn't a good parent. And that's why it was hard to make the shift, because being a good parent up until about 13, 12, 14 was hyper managing your life. It was making sure that you were respectful and obedient, and that you took care of your chores, and you showed up in the way you're supposed to at school. And so I had managed all that, and that was being a good mother, right? And you learned and were trained a lot in those years. But it became an overbearing mother in middle school when you were trying to do it for yourself. And you really needed to fail some. You needed to get in trouble at school. You needed to make mistakes. And I think when I realized that and accepted that and quit trying to protect you from that, our relationship got way better, because I just let the natural consequences of you being a punk in life play out.
Sure. Well, and there are a lot of things I wanted to do that you knew were battles that I was going to lose, and so you told me no. Right? Don't go to that concert.
Hey, I
Don't
said
go.
yes to way too many things too.
I know. I said at the beginning when you were still trying
Yes.
to be overbearing, it was no, don't go to that concert because X, Y, and Z. You're gonna get in trouble, whatever it might be. No, don't go to that person's house. You had these restrictions, and then you realize, well, it's actually, if you're gonna fight back with me, it's a great learning experience for you to go lose those battles on your own. And so um, there was a lot of learning through freedom for me,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to walk that line as a parent,
Oh,
uh,
you won't
which
believe it.
I don't know yet, but I could imagine,
Yeah.
especially with guys. From my experience, it's better to err on the freedom side and let them learn from circumstances, because I mean, since the beginning of time, men have had responsibility at younger ages than this society that we're in right now. And so, whatever that looks like, whether it's giving them more responsibility, more freedom, um, even in places, even when they're fighting battles that they might lose, it's good for guys to lose and not be so sheltered from um, opportunities where they can make mistakes. Because I'd argue a ton of my growth in middle school came from going and making those mistakes and realizing, you know what, my mother and my father was right, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't have been there.